are. We have 30 people tonight. Anyway, welcome, welcome everyone. I'm so happy to see you here tonight. Thank you for joining us. First, a little business. Roxy is here with me again tonight. And so if you have a question, if you have a comment, go to the chat icon down below and just enter your question and she'll relay it to me. I have Samantha and Sam with me, who are the runners and my audience. So we're going to have fun tonight because I love it when people are around and I see you and your smiles. Let's see. Anything else? No, the recording.
Just lost you.
What? The recording will be sent out the end of the week. Zach is in the middle of a launch, so he may be a bit slower than usual in getting it to me, but no, there is a recording and it's all cool, okay? So, shall we get started? Let's see. So, the most popular question in the last few weeks has seemed to be, when are things going back to normal? Okay, when is it going to be sane again? Okay, fair enough question. However, it's not going back, okay? And the normal that we are being asked to create is magnificent. However, this is not going to be something that just happens. We are no longer going into the theater of life, sitting down and waiting for the curtain to rise and see a beautiful set or see something that's tragic. No, we are creating it. It is very important. It is essential. In fact, my entities have been hounding me. It's time for us to co-create. It's time for us to pick up that gauntlet, take that responsibility, and realize you are creating every minute, every moment of your experience here on Earth. So the wait and see, or wait till things get better, or what can we do about? It's why I've been harping, or at least I feel I've been harping and nagging you for all year at least. It's why I keep telling and mentioning, honor and celebrate yourself. Figure out what makes you happy. You know, happy is not one of the seven dwarfs that sort of whistle around. The happiness is a quality that is inside us. It's part of the essence of who we are. If we look at eternal energy, we all acknowledge its love, its light, and we forget the third, which is what I like to call laughter, because I like the 3 L's, but most people call it joy. We forget the joy part. And as we're shifting, as we're being called and nudged, and some of us are being pushed and will continue to be pushed into the 4th dimension. In our bag of tricks, we have to have joy and laughter, because that is the true sound of the heart. Corny it may sound, but that is the essence. That is the chemistry of human beings here on the planet at this time. So tonight is about flexing your muscles, your spiritual muscles. And those muscles are the muscles of love, joy, and allowing the light, or allowing yourself to shine in the light as you go about your day. So, get that this is a great time. And the key thing I wish to say before somebody takes over is, don't allow yourself to get dragged in to the drama of the outside world, of the chaos, of the negativity. Don't get caught up in it. And tonight, I plan after talk, which I consider the talk, which entity shows up, to give you some tips on making sure you watch yourself so you don't get bogged down with this dense third dimensional energy that's filled with doubt or fear and the lack mentality. Okay? So that's my biggest message to you. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in the negativity that's in the outside world. It's the old order. It's the old format. And if you insist on staying in the third dimension, excuse me, I have to accept people in. They're in. Great. If you insist on staying in the third dimension, you'll get stuck. And life is not going to work. So here we go. Okay, she said it. And now this is what I want to say to you. You have forgotten. You must remember and do everything in your power to remember. You are magnificent beings. And as a magnificent being that is creative and dynamic and loving, you can create anything that you choose, that you visualize for yourself. And too many of you are still unwilling to accept this concept of being magnificent, of being creative and dynamic. Too many of you are not accepting it. And we really don't know what to do about it. So all we can do is shower you with love and give you a few thoughts tonight to think about that we hope will inspire you, will motivate you to pick yourselves up and see the good, see the blessedness in yourself and each person in your life. Because this is the way you are going to create a life that is fulfilling and rewarding to you. And this is how you are going to shift the very heavy energy here on the planet that is drowning the planet, that is weighing down your planet. Your planet is a beautiful, beautiful expression of love. If you went out in space, you would see its perfection. But there is too much time now spent on what's wrong. So the first thing I am asking you to do tonight is to shift your focus into what is beautiful in your life. What is it that you love? What is good and goodness? Where is it? Go find it, because it is there. You have just been ingrained in you for thousands of years to focus on what doesn't work, to focus on protection instead of providing. So shift number 2 is provide for yourself instead of protect. Protect always assumes there's something bad or wrong or undesirable out there. We want you to provide. Yes, there are bad and evil things out there, so to speak, at least from perceptual. But we want you to look at what's out there and say, how do I take care of myself? What do I need to do for myself to be that creative, dynamic, happy person I want to be? Because all of you, I insist, are seeking not only love, but seeking happiness. And the point of the whole talk from me tonight is Happiness is part of your essence. Remember? Love, light, and joy. Happiness is within you. It's not something you have to go find. Happiness is sitting right there, ready for you to choose it, evoke it. And it's through your relationships, it's through your creativity that you evoke love from within yourself, joy from within yourself. It does not come from an outside person, place, or thing. That is the old paradigm. Phrase in there, outer directed. Outer directed means you look outside yourself for the source of your supply, for the definition and validation of who you are. That's a done deal. That you know here. We want you to take it into your heart. We are asking you to take everything into your heart. The heart knows love, and it means, yes, you have to shift in a way that is totally different from how you've set your life up. So what can you do? Let's look at this third, fourth, and fifth dimension for a minute. We realize we hear Deirdre talking all the time about third, fourth, and fifth dimension. Let's just clear it up again. Just wait a minute. Third dimension we know is created and generated from the belief, the paradigm in separation. We are all separate. We become outer directed because we give our power over to outside people, places, or situations, which creates the diversity, the divisiveness, the competitiveness, all which is based in doubt, greed, lack, fear. Now that's third dimension. It's worn itself out. It's been around for thousands of years. So the shift is into the heart consciousness, which is the one of unity, of wholeness, of coherence, and collaboration, connection. And that journey begins with you healing yourself so that you feel whole, complete. Within yourself, you are coherent, and therefore you can see the coherence in all things and not be intimidated by it. Honor it, celebrate it. You're being asked to make that big shift. It's 180 degrees. We acknowledge that. But it's time to fish or cut bait. Do or do not. You have till the end of the year to make this process smooth and easier for yourself. After that, I'm not so sure. We'll see how you do. We remember it only took 3% of your population to create the American Revolution and independence from England. So if we can find 3% of you, the people of Earth planet, are willing to shift out of the paradigm of fear and intimidation and into the paradigm of love and trust, then you can create that peace and balance and harmony within yourself, where it must be created first in order for you to contribute on the planet. Because your thoughts, your feelings, remember, go up into the big pie in the sky, the collective. And it is through the collective that the general life that you know it, the reality that you know, is created. So I am asking you, choose now to make the shift. The fourth dimension is heart-based. The heart knows only love. And remember, love is accepting and allowing people to be who they are. You don't have to adapt to them. You don't have to adopt it. You need to accept it and allow it. And if it doesn't resonate for you, you can step back. That is unconditional love. And unconditional love has a very high frequency. A high frequency that is your immune system activated. If you're in love, if you're in any of what we call the higher case emotions of compassion, of trust, forgiveness, joy, particularly joy, you are operating at such a high vibration, at such a high frequency that this COVID, this virus of the heart cannot reach you, because the COVID virus has a range of like 2.5 and dies when your energy level or the energy level is at 25. You want to do everything you can to now upgrade your consciousness, raise it up to these higher frequencies that we know you have been trained to think you can't have while you're a human being living here on earth. Silly, silly belief. Don't accept it. Don't believe it. It's been around, I know, for thousands of years, and you've had hundreds of lifetimes living through this paradigm. Aren't you bored? Aren't you tired of it? How's it worked? Come on, take a chance, lighten up, because this is how you raise the divine feminine, the heart, the emotions, the love, the higher consciousness, up to the level that you've been operating with that linear, rational mind of yours, so that they can begin to interact, they can begin to connect. And this is the fifth dimension, you see, where you've raised up your consciousness. The heart is expressing, you're expressing joyfully, authentically, honestly, however you see love. You're living it. You've raised it up. The fifth dimension is collaboration, cooperation, finding the balance and the harmony in the head and heart. It is an extremely powerful dynamic, and it would mean there'll be another shift for you. The good news is this: there seems to be so much controversy these days on whether we're in the fourth dimension or you're in the third dimension or no, the fifth dimension is here in December. From our point of view, you'll be in the fourth dimension. You are reaching for the fourth dimension. Many of you are there, but here's my thinking. Remember, the heart is about connection. It's about flow. The fourth dimension does not separate and create structure. It's just fluid. It flows. So my words to you are this: you will flow from third to fourth to fifth, and maybe back and forth for the next 9, 10, maybe even a year. It depends on you. It depends on your degree of commitment and conscientiousness on what you want and how you wish to see yourself, what you want to experience. So there's no cutoff date from our point of view. Each of you is your own sovereign. That's a novel idea, right? But it is your sovereignty. It is, you are in mastership now. So you can go to the fifth dimension by the end of the year. There's no one stopping you. And there will be a tribe there for you. You will meet like-minded, like heartfelt souls. So there's no need to fear being alone or feeling out on a limb. You determine the flow of your life now. You determine your consciousness, your mindset, how you wish to approach life. Do you want to see what's wrong with everything and then hunker down or withdraw or protect yourself? Or do you want to see as life is full of endless possibilities and great stuff out there and go for it? It is simply a choice. And we are here to say, please make the heart choice. The fifth dimension is the real beginning of your journey into ascension, into your true self. So, how soon do you want to get there? How soon do you want to experience what's beautiful in yourself and in life? How soon are you willing to share it? Because sharing and connecting with others is becoming even more and more important. It's a choice. And the thing about choices, and I would like you to be very careful with your choices. I want you to be very particular in the next 6 months. I want you to really be picky even. Choice is an action. It is feminine action. It is part of the divine feminine syllabus. Choice is an action, feminine, because it is a non-physical action. So the other action we give to the divine masculine, but it's choice and the choices you make now. And knowing your intention and knowing your motivation for that choice, that is the key to your growth, your success, and your sense of accomplishment. It's an exciting, magnificent time. Can you see it? Can you feel it? And while it sounds corny, I know Deirdre uses the word corny all the time. I'm picking it up from her, I guess. Corny sounds very good to us because what is working? What is working? You see, moving into the fourth dimension, moving into the flow of things, automatically says that great changes are in store for you on the planet. And if you are not centered and grounded and at peace and happy with yourself, weathering some of these changes will become challenging, energy draining, and time consuming. And I would rather see you not have to experience it. You cannot go from fear and intimidation to trust and love and not expect a bumpy ride. You've had it ingrained in you that life is painful and difficult and challenging. But that has only been to keep you from your true self, your authentic self. And now you are in an environment that is so unrewarding, unfulfilling, where the feedback is so negative. It is time for you to withdraw within, go within, and rejoice. Be happy being in yourself. Be happy creating a life you want for yourself. I hope this is making sense. Is it making sense? Yeah. Sam and Samantha say yes, and so do Roxy. So come join us, okay? Because in the fourth dimension, And for the rest of the year, everyone seems to think, well, after the election, things will quiet down. After the election, things will smooth out. I do not think so. I do not wish for you to set up that hope or that expectation, because your planet, your people, is still so grounded and so intent on anger and hate and frustration, which is all generated from fear, which is ultimately generated from doubting or forgetting who you are. There is so much hate on your planet right now that it will not settle down. Remember, the shift from third to fourth dimension, you must let go of polarity thinking concept. And the thinking now is so extreme, as mirrored for you with your political scene, that if no matter who wins or who loses, there will be outcries of cheating, unfair, there will be eruptions, riots in the street. They go violent because you've been trained to think that violence settles the score. So it will not be an easy time after the election. Someone has to lose. And whoever loses, that extremism will be activated once more. So please do not look for peace and love and joy and laughter for a while, except develop it in yourself. See, once you develop it in yourself, then that's what you send to the collective. That's what shifts the energy of your planet into something that is peaceful and dynamic and creative. It shifts it into a community of people, of unity with nature, of unity with all that is. And this is what each of you needs to do. It will not take away from your human experience. It just allows you to experience a deeper level of happiness and joy and love that you've ever known before. And when you hit that core, that base, you then create a world that is even kinder and more beautiful than you have possibly imagined. Just be willing to go there. Be willing to risk. Be willing to be all you can be, because you are given this opportunity when, let us face it, it's a messy, messy time. I would like to say all hell is breaking loose here. Do you want to be in hell, or do you want to withdraw and bring yourself in, back home to yourself, back home to who you are, and live from that point? So, is big opportunities right now. Magnificent choices for you to make. The energies, the planetary energies, are all set up for you to live on that inspired wavelength. You have, and I know Deirdre isn't into astrology very much, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. You have Neptune and Jupiter moving into Pisces, going direct, active. Now, what's so great about that is that Pisces is considered the most evolved of all the planets. It is a very esoteric, ethereal, spiritual energy. In Neptune is a very spiritual, mystical, inspirational energy. So you're uniting the planets and the houses and everything with each other to a very, very high frequency, up there in the 800s. And Jupiter is the planet known as wisdom and known as expansion and expanding. So it's about expanding your personal wisdom that is based in your sense of the spiritual, of the spirit, of who you are. This is what's prevalent for the next 6 to 8 months. This is why you're being offered the gold ring. Take it in order to manifest your biggest and wildest dreams. Take it, your biggest and wildest goals or visions. It's up to you. It's your choice. Have I made it clear? Isn't it exciting and wonderful? We'd like it if your heart sang a song. We really would. We do not want to see you giving your power over to authority figures who are perhaps not serving you in your growth and evolution as a being of light on the planet, as a human being even. So as long as you are willing to give your power over to somebody or something else, you will have to wade through the muck and the mire of third dimension, the hierarchal structure. We don't wish that for you. We have watched you for such a long time. And yes, I am an archangel. And yes, one could say, why does Deirdre bring in an archangel? That's something outside herself. That's not her higher self. But here's the thing when it comes to archangels, angels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the guides, the teachers. Yes, you have been told that they are sources of higher energy and higher wisdom outside yourself. But the truth is, we are not. We are just you in a future when you are filled with as much light as we hold. We archangels were some of the first light beings out of the cosmic egg or the universal egg. So our light has always been very bright, very pure, and not compatible with the karma here on earth. So it seems like we are out there beyond your reach, and yet you know we are here for you. But the point I want you to see is we are you. You are us. You will become a being such as we are as you evolve and grow and embrace your heart and speak with your truth and your soul. And while this may seem very impractical in your world, on your planet, that will change the community known as humanity and people and how you see things. And we invite you to just see us as already inside you. Deirdre, for instance, when she's not feeling well, will call on Archangel Raphael, the healer, inside her and activate that light in order to heal herself. Now, this is not special. This is just something she happens to know and believe in. But this will be how you heal yourself late in the fourth dimension, early fifth dimension. You see, in the fifth dimension, where there is continuous flow and interaction and no separation, you will not have the medical community that you have now. Medicine is already changing. People right now are moving from pharma meds to herbs to energy work, to acupuncture, to oils. They're going for more natural resources. It's all the same. It is still outside yourself. But what you must realize is whatever you choose, you are activating that healing power in you that says, I want to be healed. I love being healthy. I'm choosing to be healthy. You have activated and you are giving power to that product within yourself. So that after you've done this enough, after you realize it's all within you to heal yourself, you will be able to do it for yourself. We will still have healers. There are still conditions, I'm sure, that will exist perhaps then, though in the fifth dimension, I rather doubt there'll be the traumas and the accidents. Allopathic medicine is excellent for traumas, for emergencies. There is no discounting that. But the reason there are severe accidents, tragic events, tragic illnesses, is because of the belief in separation that fractures and harms the soul from its whole and perfect expression. So you can look at medicine and say there will come a time when there will not be surgeries, except for people who are in very critical, dire circumstances. Now that's a change that you may see, some of you anyway, this lifetime, or begin to see it. But we would encourage you to start thinking in terms of the healing power is within me. And if you need a Raphael to sort of get you into the activated mode, he's at your service. I'm at your service. But we're only aspects of you that are just a little purer and a little lighter. And it may be an excellent time for you to start practicing this, shall we call it, discipline of going within to heal yourself. Because right now, there's been a very dramatic energy shift here on Earth, again, for you. This is a galactic energy. This is a new band of violet ray or ultraviolet ray that is much lighter. It is much faster, and it is because it has so much more light in it, it can and does pierce your body. And it is energizing, or in some cases, de-energizing every cell in your body. It can affect your hormones, your metabolism, your organs, your glandular structure. Everything is affected. So it is truly time for you to pay attention to your body. Do what you feel works for you to heal, to mend. We would ask you where there is a block or a toxicity to ask yourself, what is upsetting me mentally and emotionally that has caused my body to break down? So, exhaustion, fatigue, worry, depression, anxiety, panic, all these things can be bubbling up, and it's up to you and that God-given mentality and intellect of yours to ask yourself why. What's going on in me mentally and emotionally that has generated this physical condition in me? Now that is a true healing. That is a true core healing. Pull out the root cause of your physical distress. And you see, you do have time You do have much more time because you're in shutdown or lockdown or God knows where else you are. You have the time. There is no narrative. There is no excuse you want to tell yourself. We encourage you, look at yourself. And if you're not enjoying who you are, ask yourself, why not? Okay? I leave you with the lesson that you all can embrace the best of yourselves and give yourself a set of new goals that truly energize you, that truly allow your heart to sing, that truly allow you to reach for the stars. Because the energy right now, that Pisces, that Neptune, that Jupiter, you've got Mars and Aries that is saying, activating your own individual need for independence and freedom and standing for who you are. Everything is there. You just have to be willing to grab the gold ring. The merry-go-round is coming around for you. Trust it, believe it, and sing your song of love. And I leave you with those thoughts. And I'm sure Deirdre has some very practical suggestions because we've been nattering at her for a couple of days now. So pay attention to what she offers you as good muscle flexing, spiritual body work, allows you to cross over the bridge to the fourth dimension. We are all here to cheer you on, and we are all here to welcome you. The time is now. Blessings. Okay, did you get all that? Yes, good, good. Okay, so here we go with some suggestions on homework for the month. Okay, we have a couple of questions and answers, but we don't have the answers yet. But how can we raise the divine feminine with all the woundedness around? Is it necessary to heal the wounds? Or can we just ignore it, not focus on it? Is that enough? Okay. We're about to give you some suggestions on raising the divine feminine in yourself and upgrading your consciousness. So let me start with that. The first thing is to use the divine feminine power of choosing. Make a commitment to move into your heart consciousness, into the fourth dimension of trust, love, and abundance. That's first. Now, this is a time for mindfulness, all right? This is a time to be really stay conscious, because the fourth dimension is all about affirming, expanding, and creating, okay? And to do that, you have to be willing to watch what your mind, what your brain, what kind of ticker tape, mental ticker tape are you running? So we're asking you, or we've been asked, to check in with yourself. Literally play the observer with your mental process. I suggest you get a Post-it, put it on your fridge or your desk or someplace and say, what am I thinking? And check in with yourself. Start with 12 times a day. Start with what's ever comfortable. But see, what am I thinking? Where is my mind trying to take me? And do I really want to go there? That's the key. Because the mind can really, we know, can run away with itself and does. So that's the first thing. You're choosing That's feminine. You're being watchful, you're observing, feminine. What though, being conscious of what your mind is telling you and what messages you're being sent helps you to detach. It helps move you into that neutral energy we call love. I spoke about it I wrote about it in my insight letter in September. Okay, which was I totally lost my thought. Must have been a good one. Where was I? Do you know? I wrote about it in September. Anyway, I'll come back to it. What? Oh, the detachment. Yeah, because what that does is it moves you out of your old patterns of thinking, of your old judgments. You've got to get rid of that judgmental aspect of your brain that's constantly on the alert for right, wrong, good, bad, safe, unsafe, whatever. So when you detach, then you become clearer. And how many times have you heard me say, getting clear on yourself is the main theme of this year, that 2020 vision we're always talking about. So by watching your thoughts, you're able to cut off the things that don't serve you, that you don't like, don't want, and therefore let them go, okay? So that's a very, very important step to take this month or for the next few months. It just depends how long it takes you to retrain your mind into that constructive, positive, open-hearted thought pattern. But that's a very important, it's key for you to do it. Now, this is how you begin to raise yourself into the divine feminine, into heart consciousness. Yes, does that make sense, ladies? Yep, you're clear? And you're gonna do it right away. Yes, good. So that's the first thing. Is it necessary to heal the wounds? It depends on the wound. By and large, I would say you want to be aware of the wound. You want to be able to know it's there. And there are many wounds or many, let's stick with wounds. There are many wounds that are unconscious, such as the wound of the birth agreement, such as the psychic wound process, that triangulation of power. There are many wounds that are unconscious that if you are willing to get in touch with them, you can therefore, once you're conscious, you can do something about it. You can find a solution. You can choose to let it go, and then it becomes a done deal. So I like wounds to be healed. And I also believe, though, at a certain point in your own healing evolutionary process, the Reiki can heal it. Energy work can release it. In fact, I think it's very good if you've released a wound, an emotional or mental wound. If you have a Reiki treatment or acupuncture, that moves the energy out of your body faster. So depending on how competent, how comfortable, how at home you are using your energy, you can heal. But it's a slower process right now. And it's a slower process right now simply because we are neophytes, we are newbies to the fourth dimension. So I think, yes, don't focus on it, but it's going to operate until you banish it. So if you know what the wound is, you know to let it go. And at some point that can be done very easily. I hope that answers your question, or if there are more. You see, we've been ignoring We like to sweep all the unpleasant, unhappy stuff under the rug or to the subconscious. We've been doing that. And I'm not so sure that's worked well for us. However, I am sure that depending on you and your spiritual awareness and your growth and your consciousness, you can do it energetically. I'm just not sure if it's a common law yet. Okay? Now, the other was call on the archangels. Tell us more. Can we call on loved ones who have passed on for support, assistance, guidance in challenging moments? Of course, you can ask for loved ones who are gone. You can call on ancestors. You can call on whatever you choose that creates in you a more empowered, loving concept of yourself. So it doesn't have to be an archangel. I happen to go for the archangels. That's my choice. That's all it is. You can go for your great uncle or your grandfather. That's your choice. I'm going to respect it because it's whatever works for you. That's what we've got to get. There's no one big rule book now that we all must follow and get on the same page with. Well, no, because each of us is at a different stage in our growth, in our consciousness. So you have to do what resonates inside the heart, what resonates for you, what energizes you, what excites you. Then it works. So we all have to learn to talk and share all the different ideas we have, knowing that there's not one way. There's many ways. So it's what you love, what works for you. Go for it. Second thing I would like you to do is make a list of things you liked to do when you were a child. What did you love doing? What made you happiest? Okay? Another list might be write down 50, and I mean 50 things you love doing now. What do you enjoy doing? Okay? The third list is what is part of my empowerment program, but I'm going to give it out to you because I think it's important. Write down 20 qualities you like about yourself. Okay? We don't stop and think, I'm always telling you honor, celebrate who you are, and you're saying, yeah. And it remains, I think, very academic process. But when you write out the qualities you like about yourself, you begin to like yourself. You have something tangible to say, oh, your mind's just not running around with a thought here and a yes there, and I love this and that. You've got a list in front of you that says, this is what I like about myself. This is who I am. This is what I have to create and contribute in the world if I choose. So it's a very constructive approach to looking at yourself. I don't want you to spend any time about what you don't like about yourself. Who cares? This is where, the first question, why don't we just focus on the good? This is the good I want you to focus on. This is what makes me happy, what I feel good about. And the last list, so you have 4 lists this month. The last list is a list of accomplishments that you're happy with. Now, I've had clients write 33 accomplishments they were happy with. And I've had another client write 5. There's no set pattern here. It's whatever you've done that makes you happy. And then this is what you stay focused on, because this is the present moment. This is what you need to create a new life with. And you will create a new life because the life out there is different. So again, you raise yourself into that divine feminine where the heart rules. The heart speaks. The heart says yes. Now, the third thing is I want you to declutter your house and your closet. If you don't love something, or if it doesn't fit anymore and you haven't worn it in a year or a year and a half, out. Pass it on. Do whatever you want with it. Burn it. Consignment shops. I'm not funny. But get it out of your space. I want to see you create space for yourself. And hanging on, say, to old clothes or just a bunch of stuff that really doesn't mean anything to you anymore is just more baggage for you to drag along with you in this new journey. So only surround yourself and only wear and only cook the things you love. And then in your home, I want you to look around and say, is it beautiful? Is it what I love to come home to? Because I want you to create beauty in your home. It's going to activate again the feminine, which is that beauty, the ideals in life. So that everything you wear enhances your feminine energy. You love wearing what you're wearing. You feel good with it, if nothing else. These are the things I want you to do for yourself. So if it doesn't fit, or you look at it and say, what was I thinking when I bought that? Out. Be ruthless, you know? Activate that third dimensional ruthlessness, okay? I also want you to find a new creative project for yourself. I have absolutely no boundaries, restrictions, limitations. It's just whatever speaks to you. I want it to speak to you. I want you to become more aware of your feelings about things. And that's another perk of checking in with what am I thinking about at this moment? Because when you stop to say, what am I thinking? You will also stop to notice what you're feeling. And fourth dimension is about feeling. Remember, loves, it's not about the linear rational process. So you want to be more in touch with your feelings. Your intuition is going to activate. You want to be able to listen to your heart. So added to the suggestions I made last month about appreciation, focusing on what you have that you love. And if you don't love it, remove it from your life, okay? I know lots of you are into collecting and having lots of stuff. And that's a choice, that's a privilege. And if you love it all, hey, I'm the first to root for you. But if it's just there, if you've outgrown it, if it doesn't speak to you the same way, be willing to own it and let it go, making room for something new. So your intuition is activating, your creativity is activating, your sense of playfulness is activating. And last but not least, I want you to compliment or acknowledge yourself and one other person every day. This again is the feminine. See, the feminine is very quiet, but very open and very expressive. And if you get a compliment, it's very important that you acknowledge it and appreciate it by saying at least thank you. This activates that feminine. It is what's opening the heart to give and receive love. And this is where we've all been holding back, editing ourselves or withdrawing ourselves. This is why the world is messy. Fortunately, at least from my perspective, it's fortunate, we have a president who is helping us dismantle that third dimensional behavior pattern. Many people rejecting him, rejecting how he does things. And that's the lesson there with watching Donald Trump. The pushingness, the harshness, the name calling, all that, third dimensional fear, intimidation. So there's a universe is saying, look, we've set up a role model for you to reject. At least we hope you reject. We hope you reject divisiveness and diversity and violence and viciousness. See, viciousness is very subtle, but it is another form of violence. We want you to see it in action so that you will look for it, see if it's active in you. It will be in you, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's active. If it's active in you, then you can do something about it. That's where there is a wound. And it's true, you can meditate yourself out of it if you're at that level of awareness. You can meditate then and release the wound that creates the hate or the bullying or the aggressiveness. Okay? So just remember, it's all up to you. It's all inside you. It's all who you are. It is your birthright to be happy, to be creative, to be joyful, and to contribute and play in the world, to make planet Earth a beautiful place, because she really is. So be aware and pay special love and attention to your body this month. This is the most important thing I believe you can do for yourself for the next couple of months. Get the massages, get whatever it takes so that you feel aligned and whole and at one with yourself. Because at one with yourself, you're at one with the world. And it's a magnificent world here. We just have to put on the lenses that filter it in for us. So I think I've covered all the bases. I talked about the different energy, right? The galactic energy, the ultraviolet band coming in. Take some time each day to feel the difference energetically that's out there when you're outside. See if you can feel that lightness. It's a lightness, and it will create in you a lightness. And you may feel it in your hands first. And if you feel it, then know, yes, I am receiving it. Because one of the most important actions of the divine feminine consciousness is receiving, is allowing yourself to have, to receive. And it can be anything from compliments to love to money to good health. And you can have it all because it's all inside you. Get it? Got it? Yes, yes. So I'll hope to see you next month. Remember, we meet on the second Monday of each month. And I hope you'll all join me. I hope you'll all bring a friend. I really love whatever Haniel seems to say. I'm never quite sure what she's going to say, so I have to go back and listen to it myself. But if you can bring a friend, let's get the message out there. Let's get people. I know people think, oh, there's so much heavy stuff. There's so much horrible stuff, terrible stuff going on in the world. And it's not that I don't agree with you. It's just I say, what good is it doing you to think about it, to focus on it? You only amp up all that nasty, horrible, destructive, negative, toxic, don't get me started, energy. And if you put your energy into it, you expand the energy so it will last longer. For heaven's sakes, ignore it. You want to talk about ignoring it? Know it's there. Provide for yourself in a way that keeps you healthy and fit, and then get on. Have a beautiful life. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I loved having you. Loved being with you. Did we only have 2 questions, Roxy? Okay, I thank the 2 people who sent in the questions. They were great questions. So stay well and be happy. Lots of love.